Are you ready to create the champion of all crochet headbands? Then you've come to the right place. I'm Little John Yarns. I create free patterns every single week, so make sure you click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always up to date. The crochet stitches and design creates a cool twisted effect. You won't know where it begins or ends. You can help support this channel by downloading the written PDF file. I'll leave the information in the description box below. The stitches we'll be using for this tutorial are the front post double crochet and the back post double crochet. The material we'll be using is Red Heart Super Saver yarn or any worsted weight number 4 yarn and a 6mm crochet hook. We're going to begin with a chain of 17. Once you have your chain of 17, we're going to start by making a double crochet into the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in each stitch all the way across the chain. So you can pause your video here, continue placing one double crochet in each stitch all the way across, and I'll meet you at the other end. Okay, we've made it all the way to the other side, and the next 2 rows is going to be a pattern repeat. So we'll begin by chaining 1, turn your work. We're going to do a front post double crochet. To do that, you yarn over, you go behind your work, and you're going to push that first stitch forward, like so, and complete your double crochet as normal. I'll show you double crochet one more time. Yarn over, go behind your work, and push that post forward to complete your front post double crochet. One more time, push that post forward, front post double crochet. Alright, you can pause your video here. You're going to continue placing front post double crochets in each stitch all the way across, and I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it back to the other side, but I'm going to do the last stitch with you because it's pretty hard to see. So you're going to yarn over and you're going to go behind the double crochet and a chain 1 stitch behind it to complete your front post double crochet. And make sure you always have 16 stitches going across. For your next row, we're going to chain 1. It's going to be slightly different. We're going to do a back post double crochet. To do that, you'll yarn over and we're going to push that post backwards. To do that, you'll go behind your work and push that stitch backwards. And complete your double crochet. Show you again, you yarn over. This time you're going behind the whole piece of work and pushing that stitch backwards to complete your back post double crochet. I'll show you one more time. Yarn over, go behind your work, and we're going to push that stitch backwards to complete your double crochet. Alright, you continue placing back post double crochets all the way across, and I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it back to the other side, but once again I'm going to work the last stitch because I don't want you to miss the very last one. We're going to go behind that very last stitch, which is hard to see, and it's in between the chain 1 stitch and the double crochet that we're going to push backwards to complete your back post double crochet. Okay, we're going to repeat the last 2 rows. I'll leave a timestamp below on exactly where to start the last 2 rows until you have a total of 13 ridges on the back of your work. I'll show you with this one. This one we have a total of 13 ridges, starting with not the bottom, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 total ridges altogether. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of your repeat 2 rows. Okay, we've just completed our rotating 2 rows, and now we're going to move on to the very next step. We're going to chain 1, turn your work. We're going to front post double crochet into the next 8 stitches. So we'll start with a front post double crochet and continue front post double crocheting across the next 8 stitches. So you can pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of your 8 stitches. Okay, we completed those 8 front post double crochets, and just like we did before, we're going to do a pattern repeat of 2 rows. 1 row of back post double crochet when we turn our work, and another row of front post double crochet. So we're going to chain 1, which I already did, and we're going to do a back post double crochet, all the way across. So you can pause your video here and I'll meet you at the other side of your row. So continue your back post double crochets. Okay, we made it to the other side, and once again we're going to chain 1, and this row we are going to front post double crochet all the way across. So continue placing front posts all the way across. So you can pause your video here and I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we've made it back around, and we're going to repeat the last 2 rows. I'll leave a timestamp below until you have a total of 15 ridges past your original row. Here's your original row, and we're going to count up 15 ridges starting here. 1, 2, 3, and continue until you have a total of 15 ridges as you're alternating these last 2 rows. Alright, so you can pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of your rows. Okay, we completed our additional rows, and all you have to do is fasten off your work. Like I said, you should have a total of 15 additional ridges past your last mark. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 ridges. Alright, so now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we're going to attach our yarn. Okay, we'll do our chain 1, and we're going to begin with a back post double crochet. That first back post double crochet is always tricky. Alright, and we're just going to back post double crochet all the way across in the remainder 7 stitches. But of course, total there are going to be 8 back post double crochets. Alright, so you can pause your video here, continue placing back post double crochets all the way across, and I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we made it across, and just like before, we're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And we're just going to repeat those last 2 rows of, front post double crochet, then back post double crochet, all over again until your sides match. You know they will, because you'll have 15 ridges past this original mark right here. So pause your video here and continue doing those 2 row pattern repeats, and I'll meet you when you're done. Okay, we finished our last row, and both of panels are both the same size. So what we're going to do now is chain 1 and turn your work. We're going to be connecting these 2 panels together. But first, we're going to front post double crochet in each stitch all the way across this panel that we're on now. So you can pause your video here and continue placing front post double crochets all the way across. Okay, I zoomed out so you can get a better angle. So I finished the row of front post double crochet all the way across, and we're going to connect this edge to the other side. We're just going to cross over your work, just like so. And we'll continue placing front post double crochets back into our work. So yarn over, that very first one, front post double crochet. And now your 2 sides are connected. And continue placing front post double crochet all the way to the other side. So pause your video here. Okay, we've made it back to the other side, and you're going to chain 1. And once again, we're going to do that 2-row pattern repeat where for this one, we're going to back post double crochet all the way across. Then on way back, we're going to front post all the way across, back and forth until you have a total of 13 ridges. This is 1 past your original stitches. So you can pause your video here, and I'll meet you at the very end of your pattern repeat. Okay, we finished all our additional rows, and this is what your headband should look like. It's a little wobbly. And right now, before we close off the ends, I want you to wrap it around your head to see if it fits. And if it doesn't fit, you're able to add more rows to the your working end. You're also able to add, connect another piece of yarn and add more rows to your beginning end. It'll work seamlessly, so don't worry about it if it's a little bit too small. Just add another row or 2 on either side. All right, once you have that, we are going to sew our 2 pieces together. I'm going to sew it on the wrong side facing out. So I'm just going to put my 2 ends together. And I'm going to grab the matching stitch on the opposing side and join. I'm going to do the same thing with the front. Matching stitch in the back and join. Missed that one. And you're just going to do this all the way across. It's nothing special. Just slip stitching your front and back piece together all the way down your entire section. Alright, so you can pause your video here, and I'll meet you when you're done slip stitching this section. Once you make it to the other side, you're just going to fasten off your work. And you're going to turn your work the correct side out. Next, I'm going to teach you how to fix this weird little gap. Okay, we switched over pieces for visual purposes because it's very difficult to see the X with this variegated yarn. Alright, when you first complete your project, it is going to be very twisted and turned, and we want to fix that. So you're going to flatten out your project as much as possible. Like so. I used my hands and I pressed everything down. So the X is perfectly in the center, the seam is right in the back, and your X is perfectly going down the center. You are going to take your needle and thread. I took about 24 inches of yarn, folded in half to make 12 inches. And we are going to start by going through the back of your work all the way to the front. But the trick to this, so you won't see the yarn, we're going to be working in between the seams. We are not going to sew over top of the front post, but we're just going to work between the seams. Alright, so you go through the back, come up through the front, then go down the opposing side. We're going right down the middle of your work to keep your headband closed. And we'll go up the next part. Remember, in between the seams. And right back into the seam. Back down again. You're going to do that all the way down your work. It's pretty easy. See, you can't see any of my yarn. And if you feel like you need to secure it more, you can sew up this way and you can sew up that way. But usually for myself, just sewing right down the center is perfect for me. Alright, and after you make it to the other side, you can just fast cut your yarn and fasten off your work. Thanks for joining me today. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, check out my other crochet headband patterns. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next tutorial.